A farmer has told STV News he could lose more than £100,000 in profits due to the extreme weather this harvest. Spring barley is Scotland's main crop, but with torrential rain following drought in the northeast, the crops could be worth less than half this year. There's concern the financial strain and long hours are taking their toll on those who work in the sector. Kirsten Tate reports.
Torrential rain meant these spring crops had to be sown 5 weeks late. After a prolonged drought in June, followed by even more wet weather, growing barley in the northeast has been a challenge.
What happened in July, Kirsten, with the heavy rain, we saw a lot of second growth coming in the barley that doesn't normally come. I've never seen it so bad. So if we look at this one here, for example, this is still soft. It's not ready to harvest.
But you're going to have to harvest it.
Could have to harvest it because the problem is these really ripe ones are absolutely hard ready.
Scott's crop would usually be sold as malting barley for whisky, but this year it might not qualify.
You could quite easily be £100,000 out. The load could possibly get rejected and go for feeding. We've budgeted this crop that we would get £290 to £300 a tonne when we bought the expensive fertiliser. We've paid 2.5 to 3 times the amount for the fertiliser. If that crop goes for feeding, there could be huge financial implications.
Maltsters, I think, have quite a high specification to meet the malting requirements, to meet for the whisky and beer industries. And yes, weather plays a massive part in that. This year, it's going to be a big issue.
A much lower profit coupled with higher bills means Scott might not be able to fund seeds and fertiliser needed for next year. There are fears the overwhelming strain could have an effect on farmers' mental health.
If you're on your own, working as farmers are, lone working, worrying about financial stress, trying to get your harvest in, working all sorts of hours of the night and morning and during the day, and they've got the paperwork on top of that, you can understand why the strain on their mental well-being is quite significant.
Farmers say poor yields would have a huge financial implication on producers across the northeast. They won't know the full impact the extreme weather has had on crops until harvests are finished over the coming weeks. Kirsten Tate, STV News.